Last meeting with us?
Very good.
Hi, are you ready?
Thank
I
you.
will pretend you're ready. I can stop if you're not ready.
I appreciate it. Your note.
Oh, thanks. Let me know whatever.
Oh,
Where are you?
That brought it.
Something having a work in it. It's 30. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. So she's
Sure.
don't.
All
I
right. Everybody ready?
always ready.
Good evening and welcome to the Mililani-Waipi'o Melamana Neighborhood Board. Tonight is Wednesday, May 27th. It is still 7 p.m. And this is our regular meeting for the month of May. I'd like to invite everyone who is able to please stand so that we can recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so friendly reminder of tonight's meeting. This is a public meeting. It is recorded and available online on Olelo as well as available on YouTube. It is a hybrid meeting, so we have people participating both online and here in person at Mililani H building. So I just kindly ask that if at the time you'd like to be recognized, please raise your hand. This goes for board members as well as for members of the public, so that I can make sure that we have, mutual respect and decorum in this meeting. Without further ado, I'd like to recognize Rachel Cristobal, our neighborhood assistant, so that she can perform the roll call and we can establish quorum. Thank you, Rachel.
thank you. When I call your name, please let me know if you're present. Pass.
Present.
Thank you. Carmody.
Present online.
Thank you. Flores. Present. Freed.
Here.
So I saw you online. Thank you. Espin.
Present.
Present. Inouye.
Present.
Thank you. Kanehe.
Present.
Thank you. Ka'apana Aki. Not here yet. Okay. Kim. Not here. Kennard.
Present online.
Online. Thank you. Pupuka'a. Not here. Darsha Lee. Okay, not here. Marilyn Lee.
Here.
Thank you. Nakamine.
Here.
Thank you. Alex Ozawa. Present. Catherine Ozawa. Thank you. Park. Not here. Rana. Not here.
Present
Ross?
online.
Oh.
Here.
Okay, so Rana's online and Ross is here. Thank you. Segura. Thank you. Smart.
Present.
Thank you. Cersina.
Present.
Present. Williams.
Present online.
Line. Okay, so we have 18 members present. We do meet the quorum.
All right, great. Mahalo, Rachel. We're going to start off with the monthly reports. I see HFD is here. Come on down.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Captain Marrero from the Mililani Fire Station. These are the stats for April of 2026. We had 7 activated alarms, which were not fires, 58 medical emergencies, 3 motor vehicle crashes and collisions. Our fire safety tip for the month is wildfire prevention and preparedness. Hawaii is entering a period of increased wildfire risk. With dry conditions, tall grass, and shifting winds, one spark is all it takes. Most wildfires are human-caused and preventable. Take action today with these tips. Clear dry brush and vegetation around your home. Never park on dry grass. Hot exhaust can ignite it. Avoid activities that create sparks or heat during dry, hot, windy weather. Stay aware of weather and fire conditions. For more information, visit fire.honolulu.gov and hawaiiwildfire.org. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Captain. Members of
you.
the board, members of the public, are there any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department this evening? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Next up, Honolulu Police Department. Welcome.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Scott Vieira. I'm the Night Watch Commander for the Wahiawa Police Station, which covers Mililani, Wahiawa, and the North Shore. I'll go right into the stats for the last month. Excuse me. There were 2 assaults, 0 robberies. There were 4 burglaries, 2 UEMVs or unauthorized entry into motor vehicles, which is vehicle break-ins, and there are 40 motor vehicle collisions. Total calls for service were 822. And I'll go right into the safety tip for the month. May is almost over, but it's also safety belt, ticket, yeah, safety belt and some bicycle safety awareness. Even though it's May is the National Seatbelt Awareness Month, it doesn't mean only in May. Of course, we pay attention to it. It's just a reminder in May, but you guys should wear seatbelts throughout the year. They do save lives. I think you guys know that already. A lot of times it's just reminders. And for some of I have teenage kids and I'm constantly reminding them. So please remember to buckle yours up and pass that on to your family members and friends. That's all I got.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for the Honolulu Police Department? Sabrina.
Recently, there's been a lot of vehicles that have expired safety inspection, expired registration. I've been calling it into HPD 911 and asking that the cars be ticketed. They're regularly parked in the same areas. I've given streets, I've given identification. Nothing's happening towards these vehicles. I can't turn them into abandoned vehicles because they're moving. They're driving them every day. So is there a way to get HPD to address these vehicles? Like, can I send an email to somebody that citations be issued or?
So what specific area are you? Because if you call, an officer should respond there as soon as possible.
They always say they'll respond as soon as they can.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's like 5 or 6 cars on a street, so it's going to take quite a bit of time. So I think that's why nobody ever goes out.
okay. So still, yeah. So our calls come in, they are prioritized. And I will be honest, a call like that would not be high priority, would go through the arguments and whatnot for us, BMVCs. But nonetheless, someone should respond there. If the cars are not there, is that what you're saying by the time the officer gets there or?
No, it's just nobody ever shows up.
Okay, so that should not be happening.
Okay.
You know the exact location? I'll make a note of that.
There's
Yeah.
multiple streets. Kuahilani Avenue has several. Naholoholo Loop has several. There's about 6 on that street. And then there's several around the Waikalani Woodlands area that has expired registrations. Waikalani Valley area.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a private street. But if you drive down, there's cars parked there that have expired registrations.
Okay, yeah. So I apologize if they're not showing up at all. That's unacceptable. But if you do call and you can just explain to them where the cars are at, someone should go out there and if they're expired, they should be addressed and
Okay.
cited.
I see board member Sharon Williams has her hand up. Go ahead, Sharon.
Yes. On Wednesday, May 13th, about 1:30, someone called HPD that there was a chicken with a blade taped to the leg. And HPD came out and apparently shot it. I guess with a BB gun, I'm not sure. But that was reported to me. It was by Waiana Park.
Okay.
Is that a normal procedure?
I did not hear about that case. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but who said that they shot it with a BB gun? Because that I'm not really aware of. We don't carry BB guns.
Well, they said they shot it, and it was witnessed by someone who was in the area.
Okay, I can look into that. That's not a normal call. Obviously, we get calls for chickens either noisy or being nuisances around properties, and we respond to those. But if there is a knife attached to the leg, I could see that's an imminent threat. So we could use, I mean, if he had a BB gun, I don't know what to say. I mean, I know yeah, but I don't know. I can look into that. I mean, just is your question if that happened, or what was your specific question regarding that?
No, I don't have a question as to it happening or not, because it was witnessed by a couple people.
Okay.
And they said 3 or 4 police officers were there. So
Okay. So we could have. Dennis, I'm sorry to put you on the spot. May 13th, you know, a call, a chicken with a knife attached to its leg, I believe, and it was shot with a BB gun by HPD. It was 13:30, May 13th, 1:30. Yeah, I mean, I can look into it. I'm sorry, I'm not aware of that particular case. Like I said, I know we're not going to go and shoot chickens for a nuisance call, but if it had a knife attached to its leg and it's around people, we'd have to try to do something, because that's very dangerous.
okay.
Further questions from board members or members of the public for Honolulu Police Department at this time? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, is there a representative here from the 25th Combat Aviation Brigade? Okay, moving on. I'd like to recognize Kathleen Pahinui from the Board of Water Supply. Come on down, Kathleen.
Hello, Chair and board members. Happy to report there were no main breaks in your community. And as always, we ask to conserve water. And also, as we are now entering hurricane season, as many of you probably heard, we're apparently entering a very strong El Nino season where they're predicting up to maybe potentially 13 hurricanes in Central Pacific, which is much higher than normal. So we urge everyone to prepare and make sure you have about 2 weeks supply of food and water on hand. And please don't forget your pets. Any questions?
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for the Honolulu Board of Water Supply tonight? Skylar, go ahead.
Yeah, so there was sorry. So there was heavy rain this month, and in the lower Waipahu area, there was massive flooding. And I was just wondering, was that something that you guys are like aware of, or is that something that the Environmental Services is known about? Because it was very weird that it happened just in that Waipahu area. So, because it didn't happen during any of the Kona lows or anything else like that, but it just so happened during that time. So I was just wondering if you guys were aware of it or anything was going on.
Well, we don't necessarily, that's more of a stormwater issue, but like with the Kona lows, a lot depends on where the rain bomb hits. They got hit with a rain bomb. Essentially, it was just targeted in that area. And for whatever reason, it was just a lot of rain fell in a very, very short period of time, and the storm drains and stuff couldn't handle.
Any further questions for Honolulu Board of Water Supply? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a
Good
nice
night.
evening.
Okay, we have Sherry Nakamura, who is online representing the State of Hawaii School Facilities Authority. Over to you, Sherry.
Good evening, everyone. It's Sherry Nakamura from the School Facility. I have a couple of updates for the Mililani Teacher House project. So the first is we are excited to announce Ku'melewai Hale as the new name of the Mililani Teacher Housing Development. So I want to explain a little bit about Ku'melewai. So Ku'melewai was the birthplace of John Papa'i'i, a key historical figure connected to this area and to Mililani's name itself. Papa'i'i was an educator, public servant, and caretaker to Ali'i, and later served as superintendent of Oahu schools. Ku'melewai means like singing water, symbolizing balance, life, and abundance. That balance reflects Papa'i'i's role bridging Hawaiian traditions and formal education. We also recognize that the same name, Ku'melewai, already exists within our broader community, reflecting its cultural significance and its long-standing connection to Mililani. In the same way, today's teacher or kahu, caring for our children, Kumele is meant to be a place of refuge and stability for educators who carry that responsibility every day. So this is our new name, and we will likely refer to the project as Kumele going forward. So that is the first update. Are there any questions? Okay, the second update I can report is the final environmental assessment was published in the environmental notice on May 23rd, 2026. And to view the final EA, you can go to the link, and I believe I sent the link to Crystal, so hopefully she can distribute that to everyone. It is public and online. Tonight, though, I will not be answering questions because I believe that there's a lot of business on the agenda. But we plan to come back at a later board meeting to have more time so that members can ask questions about the EA if they have them. So I'm going to pause there, and I won't be able to answer any questions about the EA, but if anybody has any other questions, I'm happy to take them now.
Thank you, Sherry. And yes, Rachel did receive the link. I'm not sure if you passed it on just yet, but that could be okay. No worries. We'll pass that along. All right. So members of the board, SFA did reach out to me regarding this development of the final environmental assessment. We have and I actually advised them that we have a very packed agenda tonight. And so I just thought, since I've heard from so many Mililani residents that they really want to get out by 9, not 9:30 and 10, it was just a friendly suggestion to the SFA that they probably come back and go more robustly into the final environmental assessment, either in June or July. So that's what I'm recommending to the SFA, since we don't want to dedicate 30 minutes of this monthly report on that. With that said, are there any general questions not related to the final environmental assessment to the SFA? Sabrina.
I did have a chance to review the final report and see some of the responses to the concerns the community submitted. Sherry, when you come back for your presentation, can you find out for that presentation whether or not the installation of a stoplight at that intersection is even possible? Like, is it allowed legally to have two intersections within so many feet of each other? Because it doesn't seem to be addressed in the report, and it seems to be kind of just glossed over. So I don't need a response to what the report says, just is it possible that a traffic light could ever be installed in that intersection? Thanks.
Okay, I will take that question back and address it when we come back.
Okay, any other questions? Skylar.
I just had a question. Is the name that was proposed and accepted, will there be a sign or anything else like that showing the name of it on like the street or anything else like that? Or will it still just say Mililani SFA project or some other type of signage?
We haven't discussed that in detail, but I would imagine there would be some kind of signage or identification with that name. So I don't think we want to call it the Mililani Teacher Housing Project formally. We would like to have this Kumele Vaihale, as it not only sounds nicer, but it has a special meaning vis-a-vis Mililani.
Okay, any final questions for Sherry and the SFA not related to the final environmental assessment? Josie.
So I'm sorry, that name is set. Just checking that's the name, no matter what that is set.
I guess I want to say it is set, but I guess it's never say never. So we had a special kahu who did some research on the name and the significance to Mililani. So we like it, but you know, we are always open from hearing from the community to hearing from the community.
Okay. Thanks so much, Sherry. And let's
I had a question, raising my hand.
oh, sorry, Brandon, I didn't see your hand raised. Go ahead, Brandon.
It's on my online. I was wondering if you could share the research that you have so that we could see the thought that went into the naming.
Sure, I can send something to Crystal when I get to the office tomorrow.
Mahalo.
Okay. All right, thanks, Sherry. And let's plan a more robust time for you to go over the final environmental assessment so that the Mililani community can be appraised appropriately. Oh, I see one more board member with their hands up. Go ahead, Darsha.
Hi, sorry, just really quickly, I was wondering if they could look into the name just for the word order, if they wanted Hale Kumelebe versus Kumelebe Hale. Thank you.
We'll take that note down. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to move on in the agenda. I'm going to recognize, thank you so much, Sherry. We'll see you next month.
Thank you. Mahalo, mahalo.
We're going to move on. I'm going to recognize Josie Ka'anehe, our Community Service and Recognition Awards Chair, for the presentation of a Community Service Award recognizing and honoring of Venturing Crew 808. Over to you, Josie. Oh, okay. Well, you have the copy. You want me to read this? Okay. Oh, you did all the work, though. Sure? Okay. Well, okay. So our esteemed Community Service and Recognition Awards Chair, and I do want to thank everybody who's out here tonight, and I do apologize. We've had to reschedule this a couple of times, unfortunately, due to the Kona lows and the Kona low response in our jurisdictional area. So I'm so grateful for all of you being here tonight.
Danielle, I'm sorry. Can we ask them all to stand?
Oh yes, they can sit through the reading, right? And then we'll stand afterwards. Yeah, it's a long one. Okay. All right, a certificate in recognition and appreciation from the Mililani-Waipi'o Melemanu Neighborhood Board number 25 presents this certificate and recognition and appreciation to Venturing Crew 808. In recognition of your 10-year milestone and your outstanding contributions to youth leadership and community service, for achieving historic milestones within Aloha Council history, including attainment of the Summit Award, and for serving as ambassadors for the Aloha State, this body hereby recognizes and commends Venturing Crew 808, its founders, advisors, and members for their extraordinary leadership and dedicated service to the youth and community of Hawaii. This honor is recognized today, May 27, 2026, by this board, myself as chair, and Lloyd Yonenaka, the Executive Secretary of the Neighborhood Commission Office. Please stand so that we can recognize and clap for you, please. Now, customarily, we take photos during this time, so I'm going to declare a brief recess so that we can take some photos and do some recognition, and then we'll come back from after that. Thank you. Recess. Oh, okay, Boy Scout troopers.
Boy Scout
Yeah.
troop.
Oh, not real sure.
Maybe we should ask.
Yeah, I think we should. Maybe they
Do you have
should.
to unrecess?
Yeah, they-
No, it's not part of the.
Oh.
You know.
Yes. They are, but it didn't say. Oh, I guess we didn't understand they were. Yeah, boys.
Okay. We're gonna go back we're gonna reconvene the agenda. So if you guys wanna dig out, I fully understand. It's a long one. If you wanna stay, that's fine. You're more than welcome. Reconvening tonight's meeting on May 27th. We're gonna go, we have concluded the presentation of community service awards. We're gonna go into community concerns. At this time, is there any community member who would like to come forward and express any comment or concern within decorum on any events or concerns within the community? Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please raise your hand. Yes, ma'am. Please approach the microphone, introduce yourself for the record, and report your event or concern.
Good evening. Thank you for having me this evening. I'm Joe Farnes. I'm with the Small Business Administration. My concerns is to inform the community that there is an approaching deadline of June 14th to submit any applications for SBA disaster assistance. With SBA disaster assistance from the Kona low storms, that includes assistance to homeowners, renters, business owners, and even nonprofits, including churches. Assistance is in the form of low interest, long-term loans as low as 2.875 for homeowners, as low as 4% for businesses that cannot get credit elsewhere, and as low as 3.625 for nonprofits, including churches that cannot get credit elsewhere. With the disaster loans, I know no one wants to take a loan and during a disaster. However, these loans help the community recover by offering no interest and no payments due for 12 months. So while working with your insurance agency, you can use the SBA disaster assistance to pay for any rebuilding and recovering, and then use that insurance payment to pay it off. At the same time, with it being low interest, long term, up to 30 years, it's low payments to help rebuild. There are a lot of financial assistance available. We encourage survivors in the community to apply for all available funds, including FEMA, which their deadline is also June 14th. And at that time, you utilize all funding available to them. And with the disaster recovery process, a lot of times the available funds for grants do not meet the needs to rebuild and recover, and that's where SBA disaster assistance come. So I encourage the community to apply for the assistance. You have up to 21 days to accept the offer if the offer is available, and even still, you have up to 6 months to ask for reconsideration. So putting in your application now will help you meet that deadline of applying while still seeking assistance elsewhere and deciding whether you want to use the funds. I have a packet left here. I also left information on the table, and inside of here is my contact number. If you would like it in a digital form, I can be happy to send that over.
Thank you so much for taking the time out for being here tonight and educating our community about what's available to all of us. I'm going to give you a minute to go back to the microphone. And I'm going to open it up for brief questions if there are any, but you know, this poor woman is here to just let us know. So we're not going to ambush her with 20 minutes of questions, guys. All right. Emil, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for coming. So, do you need any collateral, or do you need some, assessment of the damage from some insurance company before you issue the loan? How do you cover yourself?
So SBA do assist those that underinsured and uninsured. We ask that all to keep all documentation possible. Once an application is submitted, there will be a case manager will be assigned to the case, and information and the requests are from the case manager, the loss verifier, and the loan officer. If they request any additional information, whether it be documentation, receipts given, or pictures of that nature, they would ask to have that information uploaded to the My SBA portal. I encourage everyone that submits an application, check your My SBA portal daily. because there may be a request or a question or a comment for more information inside that portal waiting for you. And a lot of times, a lot of applications may be dropped or withdrawn because there's no answer. And again, even if your application is withdrawn, you still have up to 6 months to request reconsideration. Did I answer your question completely?
Any additional questions? Please raise your hand. Mary, go ahead.
Okay, did you say you have more of those brochures?
Yes, I left some of the copies here on the table, and I will be happy. I left my business card. I'd be happy to email it in digital form so you can upload it to any of your social media or newsletters to inform the community.
Final questions? Seeing none. Thank you so much for coming out and educating us on this.
Mahalo. Have a good evening.
This important information. Okay. Next up, we have board business. I would like to recognize our secretary, Sabrina Gustafson, for the approval of meeting minutes.
Minutes for the April 22nd meeting were sent out with this agenda. I've received no corrections or modifications. If there's nobody on the floor that wants to do that, I move to approve the minutes as they stand.
Okay, and Rachel?
Okay. Could I get a second also?
Seconded.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So since the motion is to move to pass the the minutes, I just want to double check that no one has any amendments. Okay. So since I'm not hearing anything, we'll pass the minutes as written. Thank you.
Minutes are passed. I'm going to move on to a resolution for our board's consideration. This is offered by board member Marilyn Lee. This resolution is urging the reinstallation of the All-America City sign by the Mililani Town Association. The resolution is titled, Urging the Immediate Replacement and Installation of the All-America City sign on Kamehameha Highway in Mililani. Marilyn, would you like to read the portions of the resolution or give some context to this?
Okay, Thank you, Madam Chair. The title of the resolution is urging the immediate replacement and installation of the All-America City sign on Kamehameha Highway in Mililani. And I understand that many of you weren't around in 1986. In fact, the great majority of you were not here in 1986. But the receiving of the All-America City Award was a really big thing for the Mililani community at the time. We were made aware of agricultural pesticides in our water. Neighborhood Board 25 played a huge part in publicizing the fact that the insecticides were in the water and in bringing all kinds of officials to Mililani, many public forums. Even the EPA came out from Washington to check on what was happening here. And it was considered that this was a really important thing. The mayor came for a public forum and we walked door to door all around. This is Mililani town. Omelka didn't exist at that time. Walked door to door, notifying people that there was a water crisis and water wagons with clean water were stationed at almost every intersection of Mililani town. And I remember having several big quart bottles or gallon bottles in my kitchen because we were really concerned. And at the end, there was a result to the community's work, our campaign of worry about health and safety of the community, not only also the idea that, you know, our water, which we always thought was the safest in the country and definitely in the state, was polluted with these chemicals. And so community efforts gained the attention of local, state, and national governments. including EPA, which I said. And the upshoot was that there was an installation of new water filter systems, which still exists. It's carbon filters that are, and we do get reports on the condition of our water twice a year. And if you remember, a couple of meetings ago, our Board of Water Supply representative confirmed that our water is indeed safe to drink. Well, there were many resolutions, proclamations, certificates, and commendations, and I actually have a couple of them hanging up at my house. And I used to have them down in my office at the legislature. Anyhow, several years ago, when new plantings were placed on Cam Highway, where there were two signs placed, one at the Mehi'ula Parkway as you enter from the H2, and then one at Cam Highway. Several years ago, there were new plantings done in that area, and the sign on Cam Highway was taken down. Not only was it taken down, it was destroyed. So we never saw it again. And many of us didn't even know it had happened. The question to those who took it down related to us was, well, it was announced in the bulletin, the monthly bulletin. Well, it was quite a shock. And for all that time, many of us who took part in the campaign that Mililani had really worried about it. And actually, I'm one of the few people that usually attends the annual meeting. I don't know that in this room attend the annual meeting every year, but I do. And for the last few years, I have gotten up and talked to the board and encouraged them to replace the sign. And I understand that maybe they don't have the money to replace the sign, but there are other ways that a sign can be replaced. Like there have been incidents where the prisoners over at Waiava constructed a sign. Corporations can also be asked to front the money to replace the sign. So all we need is a little bit of cooperation. So this is something that means a lot to a lot of people. For many of you, I suppose, it was so long ago that you don't remember. But I would like to encourage the passing of this reso. It's not a law. It's not a legal document, but it's a plea to let us have our honor and the dignity of our decision many years ago and replace the second the second All-America City Award sign on Cam Highway. So I do move that this resolution be passed.
Okay, it's been moved by Board Member Marilyn Lee, seconded by myself. The resolution does resolve that the Mililani-Waipi'o Melemanu Neighborhood Board 25 urges and recommends that the Mililani Town Association fulfill its commitment to replace and reinstall the All-America City sign at the intersection of Kamehameha Highway and Lani Kohana Avenue so that Mililani's unique distinction as Hawaii's only All-America City will once again be prominently displayed, visible, and recognized by residents and visitors alike, and be it so ordered that copies of this resolution be transmitted to the mayor of the city and county of Honolulu, the director of city DPP, Mililani's Honolulu City Council member, all members of the board of directors of MTA, the general manager and staff of the MTA, the Mililani Town Association, and the respective news entities. It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion, members? Emil.
I have a question. So besides the financial burden, is there any other reason why it's not reinstalled?
Marilyn, can you answer that?
Oh, thanks for the question. I'm not sure that it's a great burden financially. There may be permitting costs. I think those are the two things that I have been told and have been told to me, but I think it's a small amount of money or effort to put back something that means a lot to a lot of people. Thank you, Emil.
Further discussion, members? Sabrina.
I would suggest that since we just received this resolution this week and we didn't have time to discuss it or revise it, there's several things that are concerning in it. First of all, I don't believe there was ever an All-American City sign at that intersection. There was All-American City verbiage on an MTA sign. But if you look up an All-American City sign from the National Civic League, the sign that's approved, trademarked by the league was never in Mililani. So I would say it's misleading to say we want an All-American City sign instead of just All-American City verbiage on a sign, which is like just a discrepancy. But I also don't understand why we're submitting this to the MTA board of directors and the general manager and staff of MTA. MTA has nothing to do with Mililani, the city. They're two separate entities. As we know, we can't even get MTA to this board because they say it's proprietary for MTA residents only. So if we're trying to get a sign from the city of Honolulu, why would we include Mililani Town Association, which has nothing to do with that, putting it up? It seems
Marilyn,
improper.
can you respond?
There indeed was a sign on Cam Highway. In fact, I do have photographs of it. The wooden sign.
It was a wooden sign that
Yeah.
said 1986 All-American City.
Which is what the other sign says too.
Currently, but it's not an All-American National Civic League sign.
Probably it isn't, but it means the same thing as an All-America City National Civic League sign. And there's plenty.
Maybe in 1986 it did, but now it does not. All-American City is a trademarked entity.
There are plenty of resolutions and written documents that would prove that the All-America City award was given to our community by the National Civic League. And I think
I'm not
to
disputing
Hold
that.
on. I'm going to recognize other members of the board
Thank
who
you.
have their hands up.
Well,
Thank
what
you.
about addressing it to MTA?
I believe this is addressed to the MTA.
Right. So why are we addressing it to the MTA?
because
They
they
have nothing to
took
do
it
with it.
down and destroyed it.
Okay. All right. Let's bring the temperature down
But
on this resolution. Thank you, Sabrina. I'm going to recognize another member of the board. Darsha, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
I really appreciated learning more of the history of the sign. I think this is a very important thing, especially considering we're again dealing with water issues and having to have community members engaged to make sure that our water does stay clean. I think, I wasn't even like around, I wasn't born yet in 1986. So being able to have the history given by Marilyn today, I think we need to definitely remember things that are important and that do come around again in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Darsha. Any further comment? Yes. Josie, followed by Emil.
Just want to say that, the dot is still on the All America City Winners, which is National Civic League website. So we still have one dot in the state of Hawaii. It's Mililani.
Thank you, Emil. Josie?
Okay, first of all, I think John D. Evans Jr. should be thanked because he's the one that wrote the proposal to the Civic Center, and he's the one that submitted the application. When they needed an oral report, Sam Lee went up on his behalf and presented it. So the neighborhood board submitted the application. The neighborhood board won the application. Okay. Also, the resolution. I believe the board should exercise caution before adopting historical claims as fact when there appears to be differing accounts and documentation regarding the wall's construction, ownership, and purpose. Okay, it wasn't removed for those reasons. There's a reason why it's not replaced. All these things, what is written here is more of a he said, she said. There's no substantial facts for this.
Okay, so help, give me something constructive, right? So in the Marilyn explained her accounts of the history. This resolution, I'm gonna spare the board, but I mean, if you would like me to read the entire resolution, I can. It does not actually discuss the removal other than where second page, whereas more than 5 years ago, the commemorative sign located at the intersection of Kamehameha Highway and Lanikuhana Avenue was removed and destroyed to accommodate landscape improvements and new planting. Okay, why was it removed? We can amend that. That could be an
It
amendment.
was removed, but there's a sewer line there, so it cannot be replaced. No wall can be put there. There's a sewer line. So there's no permit that will approve the wall to be there. Also, there's no documentation of anything stating that the wall was going to be replaced. And let me give you a hypothetical. There is 2 walls in Mililani that say that. If a car was to come right now and crash into those walls, it cannot be replaced with those wording because it's trademarked. There is a metal sign that is posted instead. So that wording, it's not valid anymore. We cannot utilize it.
So I'm looking at the resolve section. I'm listening.
Yes.
I'm looking at the resolve section here. Urges and recommends MTA, right? So it's not telling the city and county, it's asking MTA to fulfill a commitment to replace and reinstall.
There was no commitment.
Are we sure of that?
Is there documentation of anything that stated that the wall was going to be replaced? It cannot be replaced because we cannot get a permit because of the sewer line.
Okay, well, help me 1 second. I hear you on a sewer line, right? We have to confirm that as well. But if you take a look at that third line there at the intersection of Kamehameha Highway and Lanikuhana Avenue. So my point here is that's a large intersection. That is an MTA easement. So it doesn't have to be at a particular spot in an intersection. This provides either location on the intersection that MTA has easement controls over.
That sign cannot be replaced the way it is because it's in violation. The National Civic League the original design could not be legally recreated as it previously existed without proper authorization. There's they have a different sign. It cannot be, but this is not, I cannot speak on the behalf, but there's more to it. What is written in this is not factual. And it's not for me to debate this right here because where is the documentation that there was any promises or that anything would be put in by 2026?
I'm going to recognize member Marilyn Lee to answer that question.
I want to tell you that a verbal commitment was made not only once, twice, but 3 or 4 times by the general manager of the Mililani Town Association, who promised that it would be returned to its place of honor in 2026. The original promise was that All America City would be written on the new sign that is there in Cam Highway. And when that appeared, it wasn't on it. And I was told that there wasn't room for it on that sign. And so it's not true that there was never a promise. And I have not actually said at the meeting that the general manager promised me this, but he did. Not only me, he said in 2026 we would have it replaced. And that was at least 4 or 5 years ago, and it was repeated several times.
Further discussion, members.
There is currently 2 signs in Mililani, and like I said, if a car would crash into any of the other 2, we cannot replace it. It is trademark. We can't do what she, well, not me, but they cannot do what she wants. But we don't have, I don't see any documentation of this being discussed or any record of anything saying that that's going to be replaced. It's not possible. It's on a, I think it's a sewer line.
Right, for one specific location besides a broader intersection. Okay, I see Sabrina still has her hand up. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Yeah, I think this issue and trying to reinstall it in the same place and having to go through MTA can completely be avoided. Mililani Town, which is the town that won it, is huge, and the city could help pay for it and its installation on the borders of Mililani on land that they own, or partnership with state land that they own. So trying to go through MTA and get an easement for installation of a sign for the whole town seems very limited.
It's not what I said, and I would appreciate that what I explained about an easement is not misconstrued. Mililani Town Association legally has easements throughout Mililani where they manage and control lands within
Right,
Mililani.
but there's got to be city and county property that they don't have easements on. I mean, if we put it in the
So this
median strip,
resolution is asking the Mililani Town Association to
Right.
just restore and replace.
and,
That's all.
and
it
I'm
is.
saying I don't think we should have to even go through Mililani Town. It's a city issue
Why is it a city issue?
because the city of Mililani won it. Mililani Town Association did not win this award. The neighborhood board, which is a city and county entity, applied for it and won it. Therefore, the city of Honolulu should pay for it and support our town, which includes Lunani Valley, which includes Meliamanu, and support it at all boundaries of the town.
So your argument is that the HOA that manages
A
land
portion.
and easements within Mililani, as well as collect dues from all Mililani Town and Mililani Mauka residents
Correct.
that took the sign down, should not replace the sign. Is that what you're?
That is what I'm saying.
I
If we want a new sign,
Okay.
we should not ask them to foot a bill if we have no proof. And I don't see anywhere here in proof where it says MTA approved installation of a sign on their property. Now, if we do have that proof, we should put it in this resolution because that would be like bonus. If we do have proof that somebody at Mililani Town Association in writing verified that they would reinstall it, that would help our resolution so much. And they should be penalized for damaging a sign that didn't belong to them that they gave approval for. But if we don't have that in here, our position is weak.
I understand your concern, and I would like to add that many members of this board was at that recent annual meeting of the Mililani Town Association. You were there as well, Sabrina. I was there. Skylar Ross was there. Josie was there. Marilyn was there. Am I missing anyone who was there? Okay, that meeting was held in March by the Homeowners Association. I can confirm as a witness, it wasn't recorded, but I will confirm right now that as a witness and as a person in the audience, Marilyn Lee, former state representative of the area, did go and ask a question to the members of the board of Mililani Town Association, the board of directors, to ask when this All America City sign would be restored and replaced. In terms of documentation, that would probably be reflected in the HOA's minutes. I would point out that she said a very similar explanation to what was shared tonight, that the general manager of the Mililani Town Association did make a verbal commitment by 2026. She asked the members of the board of directors for the Mililani Town Association to support the reinstallation of an All-American City sign down in Kamehameha Highway, Lani Kohana. Not in a particular location, just in that area, since there was one before. I was witness to that. If we, I don't really, I'm very concerned about this conversation where we're making claims that because something is not documented, it could be therefore not true. When in fact, at that March meeting of our HOA annual meeting, she did say that. And the general manager was there and he did nod. And those board of directors of MTA did nod. And at the conclusion of the meeting, the various members of the MTA board did approach Marilyn Lee to try to understand and rectify the situation. Now, I'm not privy to that conversation. Perhaps Marilyn could elaborate, but they were trying to understand the situation as well. So I don't
Well,
appreciate asking board
I think
members-
that's a misinterpretation of what happened because the board chair said that has been discussed. It's not going to happen. That to me is a final confirmation. I didn't see any wibble wobbles in there. That's what he said in the public meeting. That's been discussed. It's not going to happen.
Yes, Marilyn, you'd like to respond?
I do not remember him saying that. You know, as I said when I was introducing the resolution, this is not a legal document. It's a recommendation and a plea to our community association to support what happened almost 30 years ago, where the community got together and stood up and got change that was really positive for the community's health and safety. And what gave us a lot of honor and made us all feel really proud of Mililani. And I still feel very, very proud of the Neighborhood Board 25's work back 1986. I mean, you can make a lot of legal kind of associations, but, you know, let's look at it from a community point of view. It's the right thing to do. All we're going to do is ask. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion related to the resolution? Skylar?
I would ask that seeing how, number one, we need to see whether or not we need to adjust the language in the resolution to either make it stronger, weaker, or verify some information. Number two, apparently there are different community members and different neighborhood board members that need to go back to their respective agencies, as well as their different groups and information to gather either facts, documentation, or whatever it is so that we could add to this amendment or to this resolution. And I ask that we could table this motion until the next meeting, so that way we can either bring all this information up again with a new, either stronger resolution with either the facts or the more documentation, so we can all hear both sides a little bit more clearly, understanding, rather than going and continuing this conversation, which we're really kind of just still going in a circle of, we're all waiting for either said facts that might have happened that we don't really know of, or that we don't really have. I understand that we're just asking for this, and I understand that we still also only had a short time to kind of read it. So I'm asking for us to table this motion until the next month so we can maybe discuss it again.
I'd like to point of order that in terms of tabling, if you table, that means we're not reconsidering it. So hearing your argument, Member Ross, is it your will to defer action on this resolution to the June agenda?
Yes, I am requesting to defer action on this to the June agenda.
I'll second.
Was it seconded by? Okay. So now we have a motion and a second to defer till June. Is there any discussion on that before we vote? Okay. Hearing and seeing none. Rachel, for the vote.
Can I just get Marilyn Lee to like recall her motion, if that's okay?
But wait, the motion is right now,
There's a new motion.
his motion, right? We do that motion first.
I'm gonna do that one first. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Defer to June.
Okay. So the motion is to defer the resolution to June. Okay. Rana?
Yes, defer.
Yes, defer. Okay. Thank you. And then Catherine Ozawa? Defer. Okay. Harmati?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Inouye?
Yes.
Thank you. Flores?
Yes.
Freed?
Abstain.
Abstain, okay. Gustafin?
Defer.
Thank you. Kanehe?
Abstain.
Abstain. Ka'apana-Aki? Not here. Kim? Not here. Pupuka'a?
Defer.
Defer, okay. Darshali?
Agree to the motion.
You agree, okay. Marilyn Lee?
No.
Okay, no. Okay, and then Nagamine?
Defer.
Defer. Alex Ozawa? Thank you. Park?
Defer.
Ross? Okay. Segura? Thank you. Smart?
Defer.
Okay. Cersina?
Yes to motion.
Okay. Kennard?
Yes, the motion. Defer.
Thank you. Williams?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. Bass?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. So that's 15 ayes, 1 nay, and 5 abstains. Right now the motion does pass for the defer for to June.
Okay. So we'll be deferring, members of the board, we will be deferring action on this resolution till the June agenda. And I ask that the members of the board who had concerns about this regarding legality and history, like member Kanehe, member Gustafson, please work together with member Lee so that we can have a supportive and helpful reso to resolve this community concern.
So wait, so Chair, so how do you want to handle comments? Like we email Marilyn Lee, or what do you want us to do?
Yes, you can email Marilyn directly, or you can email myself and I can help negotiate all of this as well.
Okay.
Okay,
Is there a deadline you want on that? Prior to what date?
we can handle that after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to board business, a motion to adopt additional dog-friendly parks in Mililani Town. I'd like to recognize our Parks and Recreation Chair, Sabrina Gustafson, for the motion.
I think it was in the February meeting, it might have been March. I made a presentation that the Department of Parks and Rec really appreciated our expansion of dog-friendly parks in Mililani, and they had suggested that we add one more park to the dog-friendly list. So I made a motion at that time that we adopt one more park in Mililani as per their suggestion, and that the park determination was to be finalized by a popularity vote at the April meeting. That was deferred to the May meeting. So results of the poll are in. I had 92 people respond. 62% said they wanted the park to be 16 acres. And the rest were 16 and 21%. So by 62%, which was a wide margin, the community said they wanted 16 acres to be designated dog friendly. So I now move that the board approve 16 acres park as a dog friendly park in Mililani.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We're going to go into discussion on the motion. I would like to begin the discussion, members, just for clarification to the context that Parks Chair shared. Could you provide the statistics again a little more slowly and transparently for the community?
92 people responded total. Of the 92, 62% said they wanted 16 acres. 21.7% said they wanted Holani-Ali'i. And then 16.3% said they wanted the other park.
Kamayo.
Kamayo, yep.
Okay. Thank you. Further discussion, members? Trevor.
Quick, just to confirm, Kamayo is red ropes, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Additional discussion, members? Mary.
Okay, when this was originally proposed, there was a talk, okay, this would be on leash, but in the future, they might block off an area so that it could be off leash. Is there any discussion on what that's going to be? Is it just on leash now, but there is a proposal?
So the
in
part,
future?
the Department of Parks and Rec is taking the parks that are in existence, and instead of saying no animals allowed, they're saying leashed animals only. So they're not opening the park up, and they're not opening new dog park bark parks, which means you can let your dog off a leash. These parks all still require that a dog be on a leash while they're inside the park.
Further discussion, members? Yes, Marilyn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Um, I, I do think that 92 people is a very small number to be approving of something that has a potential for being a danger to children and elderly in the community. And we already, I think, but ought to think about increasing the number of dog parks. Having had the experience of severe dog bite damage in our little street in Niue Place, I worry about it very much. So thank you.
Thank you. I see Brandon Kennard has his hand up. Go ahead, Brandon.
Aloha. I wanted to second the point that the survey sample size is fairly small. And I also wanted to see if we could expand discussion on if there were, I think we missed the point. Is there plans to expand potentially from unleashed dog parks to closed off sections? Oh,
No, I don't think you understand. So an off-leash park is known as a bark park. There's nowhere on the island except for beaches, and that's in certain areas of beaches, that you can even have your dogs off leash. There's no park like Honolulu City and County Park that's not a bark park where you can have your dog off the leash. That's just not allowed. The only place you can have your dog off leash is in a bark park, which is a fenced area separate from any sort of public play space. That's not what's happening here, and there's no plans for that to happen here.
thank you. That last point, the no plans, was what we were
Yeah.
looking for.
As to the sample size, when we did this originally, we had a wide variety of parks that people could choose from to say if they were interested or not interested. Total responses of that survey when we made that decision was it 120 something? Yeah, let me check real quick. That one was 111. So sample size, they've had 2 months for people to respond. I think we had more responses last time because the question was, do you want to expand or not expand? And there were some people in that 111 that said, no, we don't want to expand at all. So now when the option was, which one do you want to expand to? I think people that didn't want to expand just didn't vote.
Okay, further discussion, members? Right. Seeing and hearing none, we do have a motion.
Should I repeat it?
Please repeat it.
Okay. I move that Neighborhood Board 25 increase the dog-friendly parks in Mililani to include the 16 acres park.
Okay, that was already moved and seconded. All right, thank you for the refresher. Rachel for the vote.
Okay, when I call your name, please cast your vote. Rana?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. Catherine Ozawa? Aye. Karmani?
Yes.
You? Inouye?
Yes.
You? Flores? Yes, okay. Freed?
Abstain.
Abstain. Josephine?
Yes.
You? Panehe?
Abstain.
Thank you. Papanaki? Not here. Kim? Not here. Pupuka'a?
Yes.
Yes. Darshali?
Agree to the resolution.
Agreed. Okay. Marilyn Lee? No. Okay. Nagamine?
Aye.
Thank you. Alex Ozawa? Thank you. Park? no vote for now. Ross?
Sorry,
Thank you.
no.
No. Okay, no. Segura?
Yes.
Thank you. Smart?
No.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Me?
Is it-
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Smart?
Smart said no.
No, thank you. Serafina?
Yes.
Yes. Nard?
Abstain.
Abstain. Williams? Bass?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that's 13 ayes, 3 noes, 4 abstains. This motion has passed to add the park.
Thank you, members. Now it's 8:13. We're going to move on to the reports of chairs and boards and committee. Chairs report. Looks like June, we're going to be discussing SFA. We're going to be going over the history of Mililani with the sign, as well as I will continue to outreach for the Department of Environmental Services to come back to give a presentation on CORP. So that is my report. Are there any questions? Seeing and hearing none, I'm going to move on to community partnerships and community outreach. Kato Zawa.
Nothing to report, Chair.
Okay, no report. Community recognition service awards, Josie Kaanehe. No report. Community maintenance and walk audit, Kenanoy and Skylar Ross.
Nothing to report.
And then we're going to follow up with city and county regarding the 3 things that we're still following up on. And once again, if you see anything inside your community, we know that the city and county is pushing forward for the 311, but you can also hit us up on our walk audit forum as well. So that way we can follow up as well. Thank you.
That's the walk audit form is always available on our agenda. Okay, next, planning, zoning, sustainable development, climate resilience, Trevor.
I don't have a report in the conventional sense this month. However, I would like to note that Hawaii Public Radio did run a news story about a report that UH Economic Research Organization published recently regarding the city's Bill 7 program. So this is a program which is designed to incentivize the construction of affordable housing on Oahu. So it's interesting reading, and basically the short answer is that it's working, but it could be better, mostly because of permitting delays. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. Transportation, OMPO, Ed Flores.
Just a note, a safety note, the roving single lane closure, right-hand side Kamehameha Highway, possible either direction through Kipapa Gulch Bridge from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesday, May 26th to Friday, May 29th for grass trimming. So you might be slowed down a little bit. So be careful when you're rushing to Costco.
Okay, Dennis is not here tonight for the Military Affairs Emergency Management. We'll move on to Darsha for Health, Houselessness, and Human Services.
Thank you, Chair. I did get a request from a community member asking for support for the portion of Bill 23 related to the renovations at VMAC. That's the Veterans Memorial Aquatic Center. The center is used for lots of health-related things such as swimming. They do like some instruction for all ages, keiki to puna. So I do have a form that the community member did ask me to share. It's more of a like collecting signatures, and then they're going to just turn all those in. Or if people are interested, they can also give their own personal testimony for Bill 23 with the city. So I'm going to drop that in the chat.
That's so Bill 23, for clarification, is the city budget bill.
City budget, yes.
All right. Thank you, Darsha. Any questions for Darsha? Okay, seeing none. Parks and Recreation, Sabrina.
No report.
All right, Education, Marilyn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I have a couple of things. I do know the middle school is planning a summer program on transition to high school, and also transition for the children coming into middle school for the first time. And I think that's an excellent thing to do. all the Mililani schools, not including the high school, but the middle school and all the elementary schools are receiving awards from the Lions Club for outstanding students, two students from each school. And so that's a very nice thing for the students to receive. And also, we did have graduation this Sunday, and it was successful. And we should be very proud of the students in this school. They won millions of dollars in awards at the Golden Scholars Night, which I attended. So that's all I have tonight, and look to the forward to the coming school year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. Okay, we're gonna go into elected official reports. It's 8:18. I don't see Nestor Garcia available for Congressman Case's office, though he comes every quarter. Okay, so seeing none, we're gonna move on to Governor's Representative Tony, who's here. Come on down.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Neighborhood Board. Governor has been providing public updates through his Ke Aloho newsletter regarding coordinating the state response and recovery efforts following the recent Konolo and severe weather events. I know that seems like it was a while ago, but it is still impacting many areas of our state. And his newsletter had a lot of detail on events and other things that the state has been working on, including the Hawaii National Guard, who assisted with high water rescues, evacuations, debris removal, traffic control, medical transport, and damage assessments across the state. The National Guard also distributed over 8,600 gallons of clean water to impacted communities. The Hawaii Emergency Management Agency launched an interim disaster case management program to connect impacted residents with housing support, financial assistance, and recovery resources. Residents affected by the storms can still call 211 for assistance and recovery support. And the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs Insurance Division developed resources to help residents navigate insurance claims and disaster recovery. Their educational materials and Consumer Affairs Insurance Division, their educational materials, and the claim assistance information remain available through their division. And I'm sorry, Rachel, I didn't send this to you in advance, but I have a phone number and a website. The phone number you can call is 844-808-DCCA or 3222. Again, 844-808-3222, or by visiting cca.hawaii.gov/ins. Also, the Hawaii Department of Transportation is continuing post-storm recovery and infrastructure repair work statewide. I have just a couple of bullet points on some of the areas, but it's not inclusive of everything. But they have current projects including roadway restoration, drainage, culvert repairs, slope stabilization, guardrail replacement, and rockfall mitigation efforts on Oahu and Maui. The DOT is also conducting dredging work along Kaukohonahua Stream and to restore the flood capacity there. They've also requested emergency funding from the legislature to support stream clearing efforts aimed at reducing future flood risks. And additional ongoing work, including repairs near Kionaole Road and H3 access points in Kaneohe, stabilization work along Kamehameha Highway in Aiea and Waimea Bay, and continued rockfall mitigation around the island, as well as road repairs along highways in upcountry Maui. In addition, state agencies took action to address concerns surrounding the Wahiawa Dam and Reservoir following elevated water levels in March. The Board of Land and Natural Resources approved the acquisition of portions of the Wahiawa irrigation system. And the DOH has also been providing additional medical support to the North Shore and other locations on Oahu, Maui, and also in East Molokai. For residents who lost their records because of the flooding, DOH is expanding its service for people to request one free copy of birth, death, or marriage certificates using their online services at vitrec.ehawaii.gov. So vital records, vitrec at ehawaii.gov. And then during this time, DOH has also mentioned that they have mental health guidance and references to services available on their website for anyone who might need it. So the governor wanted to relay that he appreciates the continued partnership between state agencies, county officials, first responders, community organizations, neighborhood boards, and residents who came together to support one another during these events. And there's still a long way to go, but everyone is working together. And he says that the recent storms are a reminder of the importance of preparedness, coordination, and community resilience. If you'd like to read more about all of these efforts and things that he mentioned, it's in his newsletter on his webpage at governor.hawaii.gov/newsletter. And then I also had a question last time I was here from Josie. It's nice to see you in person. You mentioned about a lot of shootings happening near the Mililani Cemetery Road. And I did talk to DLNR and I also talked to the Department of Law Enforcement. And DLNR said that they have not received any reports or complaints about gunshots on the Mililani Cemetery Road at night. And they also provided this guidance that if the gunshots are related to individuals who are hunting at night, that is prohibited on both public and private property. Hunting on private property requires permission of the landowner and a valid hunting license. On private property, only a few hunting rules actually apply. And people who hunt illegally on private land are technically trespassing, and this is property crime that is normally handled by the police department. DLNR's Division of Conservation Resource Enforcement, or DOCARE, can enforce hunting rules on private lands, but the private owner needs to make a complaint and be willing to prosecute and be able to positively identify the trespassers, which because of the large areas of land, that sometimes is difficult to do, especially at night. But they did say that the Department of Law Enforcement has formed an agriculture crime unit specifically tasked to patrol private properties and respond to prevent agriculture crimes. So I asked DLE, and they said they have not received a specific report in recent days, but they are aware of illegal hunting in the area and have made arrests in the past. DLE is continuing to investigate and look for illegal hunters. And they also said often the challenge with these crimes is having to cover a vast amount of open land. But they do have an anonymous phone line. I'm sorry I didn't give these to you in advance, Rachel, to call if you want to report any suspicious activity. And that number is 808-723-3600. So it's anonymous phone line that DLE has set up so you can report any suspicious activity happening on private property or even public property too, if you feel that it might be illegal. And that's what I have.
Thank you so much, Tony. Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for the governor's office tonight? Sabrina.
Can you find out what's going on between right before Lani Kuhana and Kuhilani on Cam Highway? The past 3 mowings of the median strip have gone around various construction signs that are just in the median strip. And now the foliage is very big over these construction signs. So are those like holes that they're trying to fix in the future? Or why are they not being removed and mowed?
So the median strip has the construction signs and it's getting overgrown. And it's by Lani Kuhana and what?
It's through the whole median strip. So there's one right before the stoplight at Lani Kuhana and Cam Highway. There's 2 on the median strip between Mehe'ula Parkway and Kuahilani. And I think there's 2 right before the Mehe'ula stoplight on Cam Highway.
I'll ask.
Thanks.
Further questions for the governor's office, members of the board, members of the public? Emil.
Just curious about the request by the governor for Ryan Yamane to resign from the Department of Health and Human Services. There's a lot of corruption in governor's administration. I mean, is he gonna use Ryan Yamane for different office, or is he gonna ask him to work again in his administration? That's all.
Additional questions, members of the board, members of the public? Okay, seeing and hearing none, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Jocelyn, who will be presenting for Mayor Blangiardi. Welcome, Jocelyn.
Aloha, everybody. I have a couple administration updates from the administration. Firstly, the Mayor's Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency released a draft of Oahu's first ever food systems plan. It's an action plan for how the city can contribute in that space over the next 5 years. You can share your mana'o by the end of June. I'm including a link in the chat. As the governor's office also shared, the city is also continuing its efforts to respond to the Kona low storms. Cleanup efforts actually are continuing, particularly on the North Shore, where many of our debris removal and hauling resources have been and are still deployed, including dump trucks, heavy machinery, and dumpsters. Just wanted to remind everyone, storm debris can be taken to the city transfer stations and convenience centers. And I think I shared this last month, but I just wanted to reshare the oneoahu.org website where residents can find information related to reporting home damage, health and safety tips, available assistance, and ways to support impacted communities. I've also shared a link for the mayor's newsletter. One of the things I wanted to share personally, as my team and I helped to oversee and manage the zoo, is that we were able to get accredited with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums accreditation again. So we're super excited about that. We anticipate hiring a new zoo director soon. And last month, there were 2 issues that came up. One was about tree health testing. The Department of Park and Recreation's Division of Urban Forestry's arborists noted that they recently investigated the tree health testing concern that was raised for the Royal Poinciana trees in Mililani. They're not being tested per se, but are being evaluated by our arborists for health and structural stability. And they'll take appropriate action as necessary, which may include pruning or removal. There are a lot of trees in Mililani, a lot of these trees in Mililani. So the work is going to be ongoing, but they recently inspected 102 trees along Anania Drive and Lanikuhonua. And 26 of those trees have been identified for removal as a part of the island-wide tree removal and replacement program. There were also questions at the last meeting about the red light camera program, including costs and whether one could be installed at the old Yum Yum Tree / Ruby Tuesdays light going up on Mehe'ula Parkway. And I think I mentioned this last month, but we were able to confirm with DTS that the red light and speed safety program is actually a state DOT program. And so we again defer to HDOT, our state legislators, some of whom have reps on the call today, or the governor's rep. And then we provided an update last month on the Kipapa Elementary speed bump and sign issue. But I did want to acknowledge, of course, that since we met last month, there was a car crash on Kohelani on the 12th. We're grateful, as everyone else was, that no one was injured. And we've confirmed with DTS, Department of Transportation Services, that this location is on the priority list, along with other crosswalks near other schools. So, you know, they're going down the list of their priorities. So, you know, I think we're encouraging them to get to it as soon as possible. Mahalo.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Members of the board, any questions for the mayor's representative? Sabrina.
A week ago, KHON 2 News did a article about how the Skyline project was going to get $500 million in improvements that were upcoming. And one of the ones they discussed was a parking facility at the Pearl Highlands station. And we received a presentation originally when that parking structure was axed from the project, and they told us it was impossible to be built. So I was wondering if you could find out how the parking facilities proposed with these improvements differs from the one that was originally proposed and told it can't be built.
Absolutely. Great question. Thank you.
Further questions for the mayor's rep? Actually, I have one. It would thank you, Jocelyn, for your response on the Kipapa Elementary School crosswalk on Mililani. Appreciate that, and appreciate HPD for doing the uh traffic speed sign there. I understand that that project is actually listed as number 18 on the DTS list.
That's correct.
Okay. And that it'll take over a year to actually install the lights and the speed tables?
I don't have that information. I actually didn't get an update from DTS for this meeting, but I went to dig through my emails and look at the conversation I had with the director because I thought it would be nonsensical to not bring it up today. So I don't know the timeline. I'm happy to follow up on that and send you an email so we don't have to wait for the next month. But I don't know. I do know that a lot of the other priorities on the list are also near schools. So, and I don't know how they came up with the list, or, I don't know if it was like when they got notified or they're assessing risk or whatever. So I'm happy to ask a couple more questions about that.
If we could try to push it up the list a bit or put some more urgency on it, only reason why is, of course, this request has been ongoing for about a year and a half, right? And it actually begins when the Kipapa Elementary School principal reached out to their state legislator, Representative Matsumoto, who introduced a resolution, and that was passed by the state legislature. Even after that inaction, after the resolution was passed and the city didn't respond, that is when, in fact, the school approached this neighborhood board as well as Senator Dela Cruz to get involved. And so there has been various site visits and whatnot. Unfortunately, it has been already a year and a half. And the staff of the school, the students, whatnot, they're very frustrated. Some were very scared, having seen a car completely, and there's video of it, right? A car taking out the trees and the sign, so this was scary to the students. This was concerning to the staff and the employees. And just because it's been, a request from the school and the Mililani community and the residents there for over a year and a half now that we know, if this could be somewhat expedited, that would be helpful.
I will absolutely pass that along and try to get some information on the timeline that you asked about.
Appreciate it. Any further questions? Okay, seeing none. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. Okay, next up we have a representative from Val Okimoto's office, Councilmember Okimoto's office online. Aaron.
Hi, good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, board members, and members of the public. I'm Aaron with the office of Councilmember Okimoto. The Councilmember wanted to congratulate all the new graduates and wish them all the best in their future endeavors. The last full council meeting was on May 13th. Some notable bills out of there. Bill 8 was introduced by the council member. Basically, will update city ordinances to better address animal-related disturbances. The goal is to ensure residents can enjoy peace and quiet in the neighborhoods while promoting responsible pet ownership. That was reported out for passage on third reading. Bill 34 helps keep Honolulu eligible for the National Flood Insurance Program and community rating system by updating construction standards for flood hazard areas. The council committees continue reviewing departmental budgets and proposed amendments before they head to full council on June 3rd of next month. Quick community updates. We are requesting that some playground equipment be replaced at the playground at Makaluana Park in Mililani. We saw some unsafe conditions and asked parks to fix them. They've since responded on May 4th. There were rusty edges. They've been temporarily blocked off and are missing a railing that has been blocked off as well. They expect 3 to 4 weeks for that to be fixed. I can take any questions.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Councilmember Okimoto's office? Trevor.
Would you be able to ask the council member if it's possible to add an item in the city's capital improvement budget to replace the elevator at Mililani Transit Center? Because I mean, this has come up a few times at our board, but the last I recall is that basically the city received an insurance payout for the damage that was done to the elevator, but the payout basically went straight into the city's general fund, and DTS thus far does not have the resources to actually replace it at this point.
Yeah, so I'll get with her. My last understanding was it was specifically put in to DTS's budget to fix that, to have a pot of money to fix that next year, but I will confirm that.
Okay, thank you.
Not next year, I'm sorry, next fiscal.
This sounds like this is that's been on the record for about a year and a half as well with our board. So Aaron, with DTS, can you move them along a little? Because it seems like our board has been asking for stuff for a year and a half, and we're still waiting.
Yes.
This is becoming a frequent issue. Marilyn, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't see anything in the newsletter that you sent us, but I read in the paper that Councilmember Okimoto was working on a coordination between the various first responders and the responders to all these disasters. Can you tell us anything more about that?
I don't have any other updates for you on that currently. I'm not quite exactly sure what you're talking about, but I will inquire about that.
Yes, it was just about a week ago in the paper. I'm very interested in it because there's several groups that are working on disaster preparedness for the community, including an event that's going to be taking place at the town center not long from now. So I would like to know what she is planning so that we can include her plan in what we're thinking about there.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Mayor.
Further questions for members of the board, members of the public, for Councilmember Okimoto's office? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much, Aaron.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, Kelly from Councilmember Wire's office.
Aloha Chair and members of the board, Kelly Anaya from Councilmember Wire's office. Just a couple things I wanted to highlight. Councilmember had a couple proposed budget amendments. Some of them include adding $1 million to the Veterans Memorial Aquatic Center over there at Corp. This would be for improvements to the Aquatic Center for facility upgrades. Also at Corp, $700,000 for the tree farm improvements. $350,000 to design an additional multi-purpose playing field and parking lot. Also, food access for Kapuna, $1 million, which would help feed Kapuna and support social services for our most vulnerable seniors. I won't report too much about all the FEMA and Small Business Association. Both of them do have deadlines though, and like Mayor's Rep reported, you can find this information over at oneoahu.org. And again, the deadline to apply for FEMA and the SBA is June 14th. Let me see what else. Oh, okay. And then I don't know if you got the update yet, but the soil sampling over at Corp, temporary debris site. So the debris was cleared on April 9th, approximately 2,690 tons of storm debris were processed and diverted. Baseline soil testing found no contamination around the debris patch, and follow-up samplings after the debris removal also found no contamination in the affected areas. They're still doing additional testing in coordination with the State Department of Health. And as you know, the site must meet all safety standards and receive final clearance from DOH before reopening. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that as well. Oh, and then one follow-up from last month, board member Skylar Ross had reported the, I think there's like 3 streetlights on Kamehameha Highway and Waipahu Street. I guess they're flashing. I did not receive any response back from DOT. Is member Ross able to confirm that they fixed it?
No,
Yet?
still flashing.
No, not yet. Okay, let me see what I can do about that. And that is actually it for me. If anyone has any questions for council member, I can take them up.
Thank you, Kelly. Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Councilmember Wire's office? Member Ross.
So since you brought up Corp, I had a quick question. So there's a group. So every like Saturday, there's this thing called Walk with a Doc. And they walk around Central Regional Park, right? And just Kapuna and people and stuff like that. You can just walk around, and if you have like a question for the doctor, or you're just going out there for healthy stuff and things like that, just to get a walk around, there's like you can join her while she does this. The weird thing is that she's being told that she has to pay like a permit fee, and that she has to do all this other like things, and I'm really confused because like, as a citizen, I should be able to go to the park because it's a normal park. I can just go whenever I want, and I can hang out there pretty much all day, right? I take my dog on a walk. Well, not really because it's not a walk, but you know what I mean. Bad example. But what I'm saying is I could take my kids there, play at the jungle gyms or nieces and nephews. I can hang out all day, park my car there. There's tennis courts, there's aquatic centers, there's all this different stuff. And all this person is doing is going out there and being like, hey, come take a walk with me, get the exercise that you need. And if you got questions, go ahead and ask me a question. It doesn't seem like they're not setting up tents. They're not selling anything. They're not doing anything. It's just this organization that gathers up. My question is, why is it when other individuals do it, it's okay, but now suddenly magically when this person does it, they have to pay for like a permit and they do all these extra steps and things like that? Why aren't we promoting more people to just come out, hang out at our parks and gather up and get all this information for free? Not selling anything, not doing anything else like that, but is there something that's preventing the parks from doing this? Is there some other reason behind it? Is there something else going on? I don't know if Matt can maybe reach out to the different departments and see what's going on, if there's something else going on.
Actually, I already did reach out to the parks because it did come up to council members' attention. So the situation with Walk with a Doc, because it's such an amazing program, there are more than 50 participants with that. So the situation, I don't know if you are aware, but Corp is one of 3 parks that are revenue generating. And because her group has 50 or more people, she has like an area of reserve. Maybe you don't see the tents, but I was advised by DPR staff that she does have a specific reserved space, and they do have like a small little pop-up tent where they kind of, I guess, meet up before they start their walk or whatever. They did waive the please don't quote me, but it's something like the maintenance fee because it's just a walking group. They don't have to clean the trash or whatever like normal I guess sports groups. But she is charged a permit fee because they are meeting and she is reserving a specific area at the park. They tried working with her to see if maybe she wanted to make it like a city program and she could be the registered volunteer, but she declined. As far as the fees, the reason why it seems probably exorbitant right now because she reserves it a year in advance. So she's paying for the fees in advance, all of it up front. I know that some of the issues were that she wasn't able to get certain Saturdays, but the reason for that is because there were already permits issued out to other groups. And according to the park staff, they don't feel it's wise to issue yet another permit when the parking is already going to be taken. I was told that the Walk with the Dog program is kind of up there by the tennis courts. And usually when I drive through that area and the VMAC is always pretty full compared to down at the bottom. But yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why she is being charged. Court is one of 3 revenue generating parks. So, I don't want to say that she should maybe check other neighboring parks because yeah, Corp is a beautiful park, but yeah, it is a revenue generating park. So that's the reason for that. Yeah.
Any further questions for Councilmember Wire's office? I'll follow up on that question. Uh, yes, the entity Walk with a Dog contacted me on behalf of the board. I did go down and walk with them. No, they don't use a tent. They have
okay.
they have you know, one of those quick flags are removable, and it just designates that that's a meeting area. They use one park bench, that's it. They sign in for safety issues, and they have t-shirts which they don't actually profit off of. It's really just for seniors and community members to walk around together, and maybe this can also not only solve health and wellness problems, but just, you know, loneliness epidemics that are going on. And, you know, you can recognize a friendly face who's wearing a t-shirt. These are Mililani-Waipi'o, Koa Ridge, and Waikele residents. They have been using this park for 10 years, and they have never had to pay a fee until this year. So while I understand that this is, quote, one of the 3 parks that are revenue generating, these are people walking in a park, right? We want our public and our residents to walk healthy and be healthy and to communicate. I mean, even after COVID, we want neighborhoods and people to interact in community. So I think it's a little far-fetched that we're charging a permit fee for a group of seniors to walk around in a park, regardless of if it's 50 or not. I mean, if this board decided to take a walk with 2 more boards at Central Oahu Regional Park, that would be more than 50 people. And would you charge us? Probably not. And we'd probably scream at the city for that. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, when we're thinking about community access and we're thinking about community groups, if the Boy Scouts took a walk as a large group in Central Oahu Regional Park, right? Would they be charged? You
If
know,
they're going on a weekend.
I don't know if that's a
And
fair
if
issue.
they have a reserved spot. Yeah.
This is something I think perhaps council member could push back on a little bit with the city parks department.
Sure.
And after all, the park is named after Patsy T. Mink, who has fought for equal access and has a legacy on equality. So I think that if we're charging people to walk in a park, that's a slippery slope in terms of access for the people within the city and county of Honolulu.
No
Just
problem.
wanted
I
to
will.
share that.
No, not a problem. I appreciate that. I'll follow up
Further
on that and let you know.
final questions for Council Member Wire's office? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Trevor for Senator Kidani's office.
So, good evening, members of the board, members of the public. My name is Trevor Nagamine. I'm here on behalf of Senator Michelle Kidani. So, just some highlights since session has ended. So on May 15th, Senator Kidani, along with Senator De La Cruz, First Lady Jamie Green, and Board of Education member Ellen Chung, gathered here at Mililani High School to sign the Nourishing Hawaii's Future Means of Agreement ceremony. So this is a memorandum of agreement to expand the use of locally sourced foods in public school cafeterias. And again, this has kind of been a thing that Senator has been pushing for a number of years now. But basically, the idea is to use locally sourced produce to feed school children, and basically as a means of, providing, supporting local farmers, and hopefully providing healthier meals, for students rather than importing and selling what would be otherwise that's what I'm looking for. Anyway, also as a member of the Ways and Means Committee, Senator Kidani would also like to share that the governor has signed SB 3125, which is now Act 24. So this is basically preserving the tax cuts that the legislature passed back in 2024. And so these will be maintained for people with incomes below $350,000, and the tax cuts will be rescinded for people making above that amount. And so again, this is just this is part of the legislature trying to make sure that the state has a balanced budget that is still able to provide, for critical services, for families who need them, like things like TANF, SNAP, things of that nature. And lastly, Senator would also like to share, and this is more for information only, that the Department of Education will be offering free summer meals to students 18 and under between June 9th and July 17th. However, these will be at a number of public schools which have like either a majority of students who qualify for free or reduced price lunch and that are offering summer programs on campus. And at this moment, this does not include any of the schools in the Mililani area. So other than that, I would be happy to take any questions.
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Senator Kidani's office at this time? Josie.
Yes.
I'm sorry, do they have to provide an ID to get the lunch? And I'm sorry, it's not in Mililani or it is in Mililani, the lunch?
So again, these are for students at selected schools, and for students who are currently enrolled in those schools, they'll be able to receive lunch over the summer. However, this program does not include any of the schools in the Mililani area. So, okay.
Additional questions for Senator Kidani's office? Okay, seeing and hearing none, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Next up, we have Charles Miller for Senator Dela Cruz's office.
Hi, Chair, Vice Chair, and Board. Charles Miller here from Senator Dela Cruz's office. I just wanted to highlight two CIP appropriations in the state budget. There's plans and designs to renovate the Mililani Public Library, and then funding for a covered play court at Mililani High School. And then SB 2802 creates a Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Science at the University of West Oahu. And then just an update on the legislative calendar. Session ended on May 8th. All bills are now with the governor's office, and there's two key deadlines. June 30th is the list of intent to veto must be finalized, and July 15th is the last day that the governor can veto a bill. And then just a quick payback on the Kuahilani Drive. Senator and Senator Dela Cruz's office are aware of the situation that happened with the car accident. We're thankful that nobody was hurt. We got an update yesterday saying that the design is currently 14th on the list. And we immediately responded asking if that could be expedited due to the recent events. And we'll try to keep the board updated with more information as we get it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Charles. Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Senator Dela Cruz's office? Okay, seeing and hearing none, thank you for pushing the expedition of the installation of the crosswalk, flashing lights, and speed tables at Kipapa. Okay, next up, Representative Matsumoto, come on down.
Good evening, Chair, members of the board, members of the community. So you have two reports for me today. You will have my neighborhood board report, and you will also have my end of session mailer. So if you live in District 38, you will receive one of these shortly. They will be coming soon, but I'll go over our neighborhood board newsletter first, very quickly. It's just our community events. There were many different recognitions in the last few weeks, but we did do a student and teacher recognition, as well as the Teachers of the Quarter at Mililani High School, which I did with Rep. La Chica, the culinary showcase, and many other events here in the community. You can read through the rest of it, but those are just some updates. I wanted to focus on our end of session mailer. Right at the beginning, one of the things I'm really excited about this year is after working on the individual housing account program for the last 6 years, you probably heard me talk about it a lot. This is where you can use pre-tax dollars to save up for a down payment, very similar to an Island Flex program. It's been in existence since 1982 under Governor Ariyoshi, and those numbers haven't been updated. So you could only save up $5,000 a year if you're an individual filer, or $10,000 a year if you had joint filing. We changed that to $20,000 and $40,000. And then it was $25,000 a year cap and $200,000. We've raised it now to 200,000 because there's not many who can get a down payment for 25,000. So very happy. Senator Hashimoto carried the bill this year and finally got it passed. So that's something I'm very excited about. And in addition to that, it's not in your newsletter, but going along with those plans is the Hale Kama'aina program, which used to be the Hula May program. Went into existence. I told you guys that it restarted in December, but they just had their first participants close on their first home. So really excited about the Hale Kama'aina program. On the inside, you will see a list of bills that we thought were notable. None of these bills were introduced by me, nor do they reflect my voting record, but I just thought they were interesting for everybody to know and look at. And then our mid-session survey results are on the next page. I will say, if you want, we still had some more results come in after this was printed. So if you want the full, there's like an extra few, that's on repmatsumoto.com. So you can look at the full mid-session survey results there. And that's what I'll end with for my report for this evening.
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Representative Matsumoto tonight? Seeing and hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Representative Lachika. Aloha, good evening, Chair, Vice Chair members. I'm Trish Lachika for District 37. As Representative Matsumoto mentioned, it's been quite back-to-back celebrations of all our graduates, the transition to middle school, intermediate school, May Day celebrations. And so it's been wonderful to get a chance to end session and then end on a high note with the end of the school year. In my newsletter, just a few highlights of what we were able to accomplish for the district. You can take a look there, as Charles mentioned from Senator De La Cruz's office. There's much needed renovation monies going to the Mililani Library. We're also I was also able to advocate for the first time, been working on it for many years now, but first time that we're getting funding for this is much needed capital improvement monies for Waiava Correctional. Those folks really need help with their failing infrastructure. So worked hard to secure that. And planning monies for Ridge Elementary School. It's quite the growing community, so eager to see what that how that can progress. So trying to work with the department and then also with School Facilities Authority on that one. There are 2 public pre-K classrooms as part of Universal Pre-K that's being expanded for Ready Keiki. Mililani-Waipi'o is going to start this coming school year with 10 seats. I don't know currently how many seats more they have left. I know Lehua Elementary School, which is the other one also servicing at least the Waipi'o side of my district, they still have 4 seats available for public pre-K. Some GAA information there. I'm really glad that Transforming Communities with the Law, I'm sure you've heard of them. They're the group that has been working with different neighborhood security watches and partnering with the churches to go around different communities in the area, partnering with HPD. 2 bills that we were able to champion throughout session. Of course, the first one is continuation to enhance our and improve our student transportation services. So this deals with contracting so that when there's been 5 or more consecutive days of delay, the DOE can step in and make changes to the current contract without having to go through the procurement process so that no further delays will be experienced by families. It's been a huge disruption whenever there's cancellations. And then the AI bill, that one we really worked hard on with the administration, with Attorney General Ann Lopez, DCCA, national groups, of course, all the big tech companies had a lot to say about the issue, but what this really does is it creates safeguards and protections for
users, but particularly minors, for all the potential harms caused by AI companion systems, so ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, anything that can have a conversation with a human. So the good thing about this bill that makes it unique compared to other states is there are absolutely no carve-outs in this bill, so no exemptions to any of the AI platforms. And then finally, on the, couple of things I know that was mentioned earlier on the grass cutting on the median from Member Gustafson. So the Department of Transportation contracts with Hawaii Correctional Industry, so HCI. So they're actually if you see them, they're doing a great job, honk at them because they're part of Work Hawaii. They come first with like the large kind of like lawnmower, and then they come back for those sections that are close to the signs with like the hand-powered ones. And so if you do see something that's been sitting there or it's been a while that they haven't returned to go back, and they're supposed to go back and address the area, just shoot us an email and we can follow up with them on that one.
Do you know what the signs are there for?
Oh, the red, the cross signs. I don't know. And then for Kipapa Elementary School, that was really unfortunate. On that morning of, it was unfortunate. It was happening during recess, and so we got that video of that crash and calls from the school. So we just sent it over to HPD, and then we CC'd DOT and then the city DTS. So the city was really quick in responding the following day, letting us know that they were gonna work to get the speed trailer installed. So that speed trailer is HPD speed trailer that they took from Waipahu to get there, and then they will replace the signs. The good thing is they will put in they're piloting it right now, but they're gonna make it a 20 20 mph zone from during the school hours. So hopefully they'll be able to see those new signs installed soon. We did pass legislation last year that puts in more money to Safe Route to School, and then additional legislation this year that works specifically on sites right around the school, like school zones and like the school area. So much more focus there. And then finally for Walk with a Doc, Dr. Wee has been amazing. She's been a pediatrician who's been practicing for over 40 years. Walk with a Doc, we got to recognize them for their 10-year anniversary. I believe it was fall of last year when she learned that it was going to be a $60 per week fee for her to be able to continue operating at the park. So I would appreciate the board advocating for her and the community on her behalf. We did connect her with the city, who did waive, as Kelly mentioned, the attendant $20 fee. There was an additional $20 fee that was going to be added to that. So they waived the attendant because they don't require a city attendant to be there. But they're still charging her $20, and they agreed to reduce the fee because they're only there for an hour, but they're still charging her, I believe, $20 per week. So thank you so much for your continued advocacy. I'm sure the community appreciates it, and Dr. Wee appreciates it. And that's it for my report.
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Representative Chica tonight? Emil.
Just a quick question about the artificial intelligence disclosure.
Yes.
Who is it disclosed to, or where is it? Is it part of the text, or did they communicate?
So the disclosure is going to be a disclosure by the platform itself. So any user, and particularly minors, there's different disclosures that will be triggered. So every hour you're supposed to get a reminder that you're talking to artificial intelligence and not a human being, because they have the ability to have a full conversation, full relationship, full engagement to keep you on the application.
Further questions? Mary.
Okay, on this SCR 7, where you're saying that Hawaii hospitals must provide care, including abortion, when many of us have religious reasons and can't consciously participate. And there's really no medical reason why an abortion's ever required. So what kind of exemptions are given to people that can't ethically go along with this?
Yeah, and completely respect your beliefs. So the EMTALA stands for the Emergency Emergency Medical and Treatment Labor Act. So that's been passed. That's federal law. It's been passed since 1986, so 40 years now. And what that basically means is any hospital that receives Medicare funds is required to provide emergency care and stabilizing care to any individual. So which includes, it's all of the above, including abortion care when it threatens the life of an individual. Go ahead.
And when does that happen? As the doctors I talk to say, it's never required, never.
There's many reasons. A person can be experiencing a miscarriage, ectopic pregnancy. The doctor has to be able to determine that it is medically necessary for the patient to be treated.
But to be clear, a miscarriage and surgical procedures for ectopic pregnancies aren't abortion. So are those the only two cases?
I don't know all the full what qualifies under, the full definition, but for this resolution, because there have been cases where pregnant individuals have been turned away in the emergency room because of a hospital's religious beliefs, that's been challenged in court, but in Hawaii for this resolution, it's basically affirming that no emergency care will not be an issue here for any individual that's seeking those services.
Okay. I see that Board Member Darsha Lee has a question. Go ahead, Board Member Lee.
It's kind of a clarification, just that an ectopic pregnancy and the care that's needed for it, as well as a miscarriage, those are all considered to be spontaneous abortions. That's the medical term. Thank you.
Right. Any additional questions for Representative LaChica's report? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. And apologies to those online. I don't have staff online right now, but my newsletter should be on the Google Drive. If not, it's on my website as well. Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Representative Pruso online. Go ahead.
Aloha. I wanted to, I know we're running late already, so just mentioning a couple things. SB 3125 was a very important budget bill. However, pretty critical problem with it in that it essentially repeals our solar tax credit and also does it in a way that eliminated safe harbor. So it endangers projects valued at around 400, actually more than $400 million, hundreds of jobs. So House leadership is standing on the position that we'd like to come back for a special session. Because the governor has already signed it into law, it would have to be a 5-day special session. And really the ask is simply for a safe harbor provision for those projects that have already been started. And we're talking about, our community health clinics that would affect Wahiawa, affordable housing projects, and so on. So it's not just the solar industry that'll be really impacted, but we're hearing from contractors, labor, all kinds of folks. So that's happening. Another issue that's kind of top of mind for me is the oncoming hurricane season. And we're expected to have an extremely intense hurricane season this year with probably more than twice the number of storms. And in Wahiawa, I'm not sure what the situation with the HARP is in Mililani, but if there's a way for you folks to re-energize or get that moving again. In Wahiawa, we're organizing communities, and this interim, we're starting a neighbor to neighbor program. So we're creating a phone tree that is actually kind of buffered so that it has multiple fallbacks. And we're trying to do that because we know that communication is key in that kind of situation. And we also know from what happened in Waialua and the North Shore that it will always be the community members who are there first. And it's really important that the community be ready and be resilient. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was, so this is a little awkward, but a few weeks ago, we I mean, it was the first time I had heard about it, but there was a Civil Beat story about Dr. Mackenzie, who is an OBGYN for, I would say, many of the women who were seeking reproductive care and fertility support in Wahiawa, in central Oahu, out on the North Shore for about 50 years. And he was engaged in some pretty questionable practices, including substituting his own genetic material for that requested by the women that he was providing care for. So we're already starting to work on legislation that would make that illegal. We currently have no legal framework that provides any civil or criminal penalties for that kind of behavior. So we're going to follow the lead of other jurisdictions, including Colorado, and try to get something in place next session. And for the sake of time, I'm available for questions right now.
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Representative Caruso tonight? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much for your report.
Thank you.
Okay, before we head into announcements, members, and particularly member Sharon Williams, I do want to call attention to an email I just received about an hour ago from Lieutenant Vieira from Honolulu Police Department. The rooster question really spurred some curiosity on his part. So he emailed saying he just got back to the station. He was curious about board member Sharon Williams' question about HPD using a pellet gun on a rooster. He did check and he was able to find the incident you were referring to. Yes. On May 13th, 2026, at about 1:14 in the afternoon, Honolulu Police Department received a report of a rooster running around Ka'avela Place and Naholoholo Street in Mililani with a metal gaff attached to its leg. Officers responded and observed a rooster with a metal gaff/knife approximately 3 inches in length attached to its left leg. One of the officers used a BB gun and put the rooster down. The incident was documented in an official police report under report number 26-168635. Lieutenant Vieira requested that I share this with you all so that this lingering question doesn't go into June and we can all have it addressed. The report number is documented. If you have any additional questions regarding the rooster situation, please contact HPD. Finally, I want to recognize our neighborhood assistant, Rachel Cristobal. She emailed all of you saying that she's moving on upwards within the NCO office. And Rachel, would you like to introduce who will be working with our board?
Okay, so I have Braxton Cristobal. He's actually my cousin. Yeah, he'll be a new NA starting next month.
Okay, buckle up, Braxton, because next month we got plenty of stuff to do. But thank you, Rachel, for supporting our board and for all of your service. We appreciate you. Okay, with that, our next board meeting is going to be Wednesday, June 24th here at Mililani High School at H Building and online. And if you want to catch this meeting and more, you can watch this on Olelo Channel 49 every second Thursday and at 9 a.m. and Olelo Channel 54 every first and third Saturday at 9. With that, it's 9:16 and we are adjourned. Mahalo.